Welcome to the Ricky Mathews Show, the show that celebrates every single day the people who are working so hard to make Mississippi really such a great place. And I'm honored to be here. Hey, listen, we have a great show. I'm going to get to Jase Payne here in just a second. He's the Public Information Officer and the Marketing Manager for the City of Gulfport. I wanted to mention to you that one of the things that I have really enjoyed getting to know better is sort of how SuperTalk Mississippi Media operates. And I've talked about it many, many times. 12 stations that are part of the SuperTalk network, geographically very strategically located across the state. If anyone has anything important to say, usually they come to SuperTalk first. It's incredible. You may have been listening on the SEC days. The SuperTalk Mississippi guys have literally led the discussion on what's happening there. Man, SuperTalk just doing well. Of course, there are 26 radio stations in the SuperTalk Mississippi Media family. And there are 51 total radio stations that are part of the SuperTalk News Network. And then they have an ag network, and, you know, the list goes on and on. But it's incredible what kind of company Steve Davenport has built. The other thing that they did is they built a major league digital business. SuperTalk Digital is a major league business. I came from the digital media business, and they hired a guy by the name of James Wynn, who is he's incredibly strong. In fact, I talked to him yesterday. I talked to James yesterday, and I'll get him on the show soon to give you a sense of some of the work that they're doing. But they've developed a really strong political strategy for digital, and that has really performed well across the state. They have a growing number of big customers. Listen, the way digital media works today, digital advertising, it's can be a bit of a commodity, to be honest with you. And there are a lot of people who do it, and they work through third-party vendors and whatever. SuperTalk has a major partner in their digital media business, and James Wynn. And I built some big time digital media companies. James Wynn is one of the sharpest digital minds I have met. He's also an incredibly good communicator. And what I would recommend to you, if you're a business owner and have frustrations about your digital business, I would reach out to SuperTalk Digital and look up James Wynn and let him and talk to him about what your frustrations are and see if he can help you work through them. But I'm super impressed with what they're building. They have built a major machine across this state, and it's growing in popularity, and I understand why, because a massive amount of training that they're doing internally and under the leadership of James Wynn and Kim Dillon, the president of the company, and Steve Davenport's vision. They have become a diversified company, which is one of the reasons this show is in podcast platform, on Facebook, YouTube. They're hitting on a lot of cylinders, and they know to be a company that is built to last, they've got to be a diversified company. So they've had a lot of success in that arena, so much more than just radio. It's very, very impressive. Okay, so let's just shift gears now and move over to my friend Jase Payne. He's the marketing manager for the City of Gulfport. He's also been a contributor, actually, to SuperTalk Mississippi News. He helped us actually put together a strategy that involves Coach Young professionals, and I think now the third installment of their contributions to SuperTalk Mississippi News has been submitted, and Morgan Bogelin wrote it. I actually have her on my show coming up here pretty soon. But it's he's been a great partner of mine. He's been on the show many times, and without any further ado, let me welcome my friend Jase Payne back to the Ricky Mathews Show. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Ricky. Thank you for having. It's my first time back on the Ricky Mathews Show.
Yeah, and that's something, man.
I like the switch.
Well, it's good. I'm surprised we haven't been together, because I enjoy spending time with you. You've been a great leader in the community, and you have an important role at the city. And we'll get to all that. But I always enjoy our conversations together. Yeah, the show is going to be rolled out in other markets, actually. It's going to be coming to Jackson and then other SuperTalk markets that don't have regular shows. And I'm pretty excited about it. We'll be bringing more guests into the conversation from some of these other areas and giving us a chance to introduce the coast to people in Jackson, and then vice versa. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to sort of broadening the perspective a bit, because the celebrations are not just a coast celebration, but a Mississippi celebration. And you know, I want to continue to get the focus on the great things that are happening across the state. So, yeah, I'm surprised you haven't been on, though. It's been a couple of months now that we've been going under the new name, and you know, it's been well received. So thank you for being such a great partner. It's great also to see the evolution of the columns you guys are writing. I know you guys committed to it full steam ahead, and you know, Coast Young Professionals have done a great job of selecting writers so far, and it's a good way to talk about things that are important to you guys, isn't it?
It is. And so when you have Morgan on, she's a rock star. She's been on the board, I think, as long as I have. We've kind of been together on the board for 5 or 6 years now. But she does such important work with the Boys and Girls Club of the Gulf Coast, and her and Kiva Scott and that group. I mean, they kill it in the best way possible, and are such a huge community partner. And I love the way that she looked into that, her personal development and also her professional development, and what she does for a living and how she's trying to bring up a new workforce. It mingled really, really well. So Morgan's been great. I look forward to hearing y'all's conversation.
Yeah, she was a top 10 under 40, and then this year she was recognized as a top community leader at the One Coast Awards. Yeah, super exciting. And you get into, you know, of course, her work at the Boys and Girl Club is really important, but then you start to really zero in on what makes her tick, and you see the amount of time she spends just in the community beyond the Girls and Boys Club. Yeah. And you know, Jase, this is a common characteristic of every person recognized with One Coast, and that is they see such a tight connection between the work they do in their real life and the work they do in the community, and how those two things connect. Right. And man, the level of dedication that folks are giving back to the community, I mean, it's very impressive, isn't it?
It is, and it's hard work. It's not just a campaign or anything like that. You know, you see so many people, and especially you know, during the One Coast Awards and recognition like that, and it's so great to show those people who, a lot of them want to be behind the scenes or don't necessarily want recognition because they're doing what they're passionate about. But at the same time, it's great as a community, and especially as a business community, to make sure that these people understand, you know, where we believe you are, you know, as far as a leader in this community, and we support you and back you. And you know, especially from the Coast Young Professional standpoint, you know, we have such a tight knit group, but we also have 220 members that, you know, spread out through all 3 of the lower coastal counties, excuse me there. So, you know, we play such an important role, but it all rounds back into this whole atmosphere for the Gulf Coast, our future, what we can do now, what we're trying to do later, as well as recognizing, you know, what we can build off of from the past.
It is really cool. And as my friend John Hairston said, and has said on a number of occasions, that the key to finding who's going to be the next, you know, chairman of the board for the Coast Business Council or United Way or whatever you name the organization, is to recognize and to give young leaders. And in your case, I mean, I've said this many times before, Coast Young Professionals is not just about a bunch of young leaders. These are people who are already leading. And right. as you helped us kind of come to the realization, something that I've said many times on this show, but you really zeroed in on just prior to starting the column. You're next up. You're the next group. And what John said is that you got to go flex your muscles. You got to go lead smaller nonprofits or lead efforts, whatever they might be, and do one organization, then move over to the organization, another organization, do it again. But the collective learning is just outstanding. It really is. And you've been a big part of that. Hey, let's shift gears for a second. I was really impressed with the art you guys unveiled recently. And it's, I'll let you describe it and let you describe the artist, but it's a significant time in the city's history. You can talk about why that's important. The mayor commissioned this; he paid for it. Kyle will show you a picture here of it for people on Facebook and YouTube, so you can see it as well. But give me a sense of that.
So yesterday we unveiled the commissioned painting by a Mississippi artist, Charles Buckley. I believe he's out of Tupelo. And so we unveiled that yesterday at the police department right before a city council meeting, and the painting is actually going to be hung here at City Hall until the mayor retires and wants to bring that home with him. But we are selling copies through the Historical Society, and so pulled up on the screen now, it's called stack art, and Charlie, the artist, has really made these stack art pieces a staple for him. He's done some great work. He's been commissioned, done work all throughout the state. And so the mayor and Charlie have been working together for honestly about three months now on really, Charlie learning more about Gulfport, the mayor talking about, giving the historical significance of different, parts of it. And then rolling into what we unveiled yesterday. It's had great feedback, and a lot of people are very happy with it.
When we come back, we'll talk for the radio arts, talk a little bit more about what stack art is and try to describe a bit of what it is. Very significant features, historical features for the city of Gulfport that are part of this stack art. It's beautiful, actually. Yes, you could take a look at it if you're not on YouTube or Facebook. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Jase Payne. Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show. We're having a conversation with Jase Payne, his public information officer and marketing manager for the city of Gulfport. And we were talking about this piece of art. It's called stack art that the mayor commissioned. And I'll try to describe it to you. And Jase, you can add whatever you want to. But what I think is important, like, for example, it's got a tugboat at the bottom. It's got a Coast Guard cutter. It's got a shrimp boat. It's got a Ship Island boat. I bet that's Billy's boat is what I'm thinking that is. Excuse me, a chandelier boat.
That is Harry's, the lugger. Yeah, that's Harry.
Yeah, for sure. And then a Ship Island boat, and then a sailboat. And then as you go up, you see City Hall. You see renditions of the Markham Building, the Gulfport Small Craft Harbor. You even see some buildings that don't exist anymore that are important. You see Mississippi Power Company's building. You see as you continue to go up. And anyway, there are these historic, but it's stacked. It's so interesting. I'm assuming that's the steeple for First Baptist Church. Is that what that is? Yeah. That no longer exists. And then of course you've got a container being lifted in the port of Gulfport off to the side, and man, it's just well done. I mean, it's just really well done. You have a way of just getting spellbound checking out the detail of this.
Yeah, there's so many important factors involved in it, and you can look at it for a long time as you just did yourself, and we saw people do that yesterday. And I mean, you may not notice yet, but there's even a Harbor Lights tree in there. The half shell arrow pointing down. A lot of people don't realize that the first half shell opened in Gulfport, and one of the fastest growing restaurants really in the Southeast and probably in the country. It started here in Gulfport, and so many different factors. And then even the trees at the bottom, there is a salute to not only the oaks and different trees that you may see in the bayou, but also to our Gulf heritage, and tried to play into everything that we could. You can only fit so many things in. So we've had some people say, "Oh, what about this?" But at the same time, what a beautiful piece of art that Charlie Buckley and Mayor Hughes came up with. We're very happy.
So it's an important time for the city. I mean, there's a big celebration for the city. Explain what that's all about.
Yeah, so on it's actually July 28th, but on July 29th is when we're having our event. But the city of Gulfport is turning 125 years. So we're going to have a party, and we know how to do that here in Gulfport. And so that Saturday, July 29th at 5:00, come down to Jones Park and take a spot in Jones Park at 5:30. We're going to have a community parade where we have, I think, close to 18 or 19 different neighborhoods throughout Gulfport who are going to have their banner representing their community, and 20 to 30 people per community are going to walk through Jones Park Drive. They're going to set their neighborhood banner up on the stage, and then we're going to have live music throughout the evening. We're going to have fireworks to send us off into really a celebration for a year. It's not just going to be one day. We're going to have content rolling out probably once a month for the next 12 months to really celebrate this and really tell our story. We cannot tell our story in a 2-month campaign in an event, but we will have a lot of historical significance in the park. We've had a great response from our business community, as well as people wanting to come out. Lynn Meadows is coming to set up kids activities. We're going to touch a truck in the Barksdale Pavilion. There's multiple different, the Aviation Museum, Francisco's coming and setting up a display. So many partners that you can go to our website and see. We're updating it constantly at gpt125.com. But we have a fun-filled afternoon, family-friendly. It's free also, big part. And so a lot of great things happening. We're just coming off of a busy July 4th and a successful, still kicking tourism season here on the coast. We're going to move into next week. We've got also have Neshoba. Coast Day is next Thursday, and it's going to be a big couple of days for the coast at Neshoba County Fair. And then we come home to our celebration on Saturday and kicking off our 125th anniversary.
So much going on. Yeah, 4th of July. Of course, the Mississippi Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo is just synonymous with Gulfport, and to have kind of a music festival be part of that. Yeah. I fished it just about all my life because it's a big reunion for me. I my sons and brother-in-laws, we all kind of come together, and we've gone through many iterations along the way, but really enjoyed my son Jordan got King Fisherman this year.
Yeah.
So
I was about to say, I saw that he won one of the rounds.
Yeah, so he's it's fun. We do it because we want to contribute to the history of this rodeo, and for us it's just a time to get together. It's a time to go offshore and enjoy fishing and have a lot of fun doing it, and then come and see a bunch of old friends who've been involved in the rodeo for so many years. Great for the city. I think actually I have George Schloegel coming on next week, or someone coming on next week, to talk more about the historical situation. He is a walking history book, as you well know, and look forward to having him. But listen, we're out of time. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on the committee real quick. So for the 125th celebration, Chairman Schloegel is leading it, and so we've had a lot of great community members come out and volunteer their time all across the city and in our neighborhoods to make sure that we have a great turnout, as well as a great celebration on Saturday the 29th. So
absolutely, man. This has been Jase Payne from the City of Gulfport. We'll have him back more regularly. We won't wait so long next time. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. We'll see you after this.